Well, welcome back. It's a week on, obviously, since I decided to go a bit further than I'd planned and tear into the old America a little bit. I haven't done anything during the week. I've not had a chance. It's now sort of like lunchtime on Saturday. It's the first chance I've had to get into the shed, so I'm going to get stuck in. When I turned the camera off the other night, I did finish getting the tyre off the America. See it just behind me there. As I was doing it, you know, there was some of the plasti dip was coming off, and I mean, if I'd been really careful, you could probably have done it. But to be honest, there was a few bits that were a bit scraggly anyway, and I kind of like just thought, do you know what? I'm just gonna pull it off rather than mess around. If needs be, I can respray the wheel once I've got the other tyre on. I'm sure there'll still be a bit of ham-fisted shenanigans going on with that. So yeah, so it's kind of half peeled off. I'm just in the process. I'm going to take the brake disc off, and I've got to try and get the plasti dip off the spokes and the hub. That's going to be a little bit more difficult. It's not quite the same as pulling it off in a big sheet. Around the rim was pretty easy. That's kind of, you get your finger under a bit and then just this bit's going to be a bit more difficult. So I'm going to try a few different things. I've found that WD-40 usually dissolves it fairly well, and probably some brake and clutch cleaner. Just spray some stuff on, see what works, but I imagine it will just be a bit of a combination of picking bits off and wiping bits off and seeing how it goes. But in terms of the bike and how we're going to go, I'm trying to work out how I'm going to approach this in a methodical manner. Got the handlebars, or the bar risers rather, they're on, so I'll, in fact that was the one bit I lied, I did do that during the week, they came a few days later, so I'll put that bit in now.
Well then, so I've taken this into work with the pillar drill, gone out from a M10 hole to M12, so I can accept the new risers. Got me some nice stainless steel bolts, and yeah, first one on. That's pretty sweet, looking good. So yeah, I'm kind of in two minds whether or not I'm going to do the whole of this top yoke black. I mean, the only reservation I have is that I could edge primer it and then do the black on there, which I still might do. I mean, it does look a little bit off, I think, having it two-tone. I'm not sure yet. All black would be quite good, but if I do that, I really do need to do the bottom yoke as well. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do the bottom of the forks as well, so perhaps I'll just do the whole lot at the same time. But I'm interested just to fit this together and see what the bar position's like with it. Yeah, definitely liking the vibe on those. They look pretty cool. I've rolled the bars forward a little bit. I've had a little sit with the other seat on there, and that feels, yeah, spot on. Exactly where I wanted everything to be. So yeah, I think that would look better if these were black though. I think we might have to black them out. Part of me thinks that, yeah, aesthetically I should probably do the yokes black. I would prefer it, and probably the fork lowers as well, the fork bottoms, but I'm not going to, mainly because I haven't got any etch primer for the aluminium. I kind of need to get this bike back on the road fairly quickly. I'm relying on lifts to get to work at the moment, or I can probably start taking the other Bonnie, but I want to get this, you know, I want to get my bike back on the road. I definitely do want to do a valve job, so things are kind of adding up, and this is not essential, it's a cosmetic thing. And do you know what, my other bike's going to have like lots of black bits on it, so I might just try and keep this a bit more colourful. So yeah, the fork bottoms are going to stay, the yokes are going to stay, that's about it. I'm not going to get into repaint stuff. Possibly some bits on the engine, that's the only bit I'm thinking I might do, but the rest of it going to stay as is. So right, going to get the old disc off so I got more access to the hub, and get the plasti dip off and see what works the best. let's have a little experiment and see what works the best. See what happens with the brake and clutch cleaner. So that's just that stuff. Well, it does seem to just wipe that off quite well, doesn't it? I think given just the pain in the arse of removing all this, especially from, I think, something as fiddly as spoke wheels, would I plasti dip wheels again? Probably not. I don't think so. I just wanted way back when we did it. I mean, to be honest, it's lasted really well. But when we did it, I just wanted to see what this stuff was like. I actually think if I do the wheel again this time round, I'm just going to do the rim here black and keep the spokes sort of chromed, I think. But then I'm trying to remember what I think the chrome is all right on these underneath. Trying to remember. It's been a while since I've seen it. Well, the brake cleaner is not too bad. Got a bit of this is just IPA or rubbing alcohol basically. I might go and try some nail polish in a bit as well, nail polish remover. But IPA. Not really touching it. I did the old WD-40. Again, if you get it underneath where it's already kind of gone, it's not too bad. But try the brake cleaner again. I think the long and short of it is there's probably not a super quick and easy way. And I think brake cleaner is definitely the best so far, but there's not just a super fast easy way of getting rid of it. I think you've got to be prepared to put a bit of elbow grease in. Right, okay, well I've got really bored very quickly of picking off the plasti dip. I'm going to try and I'm going to get some, I haven't got any at the moment, I've run out, but I'm going to get some carb cleaner, so that's a little bit more evil, and hopefully see if that's going to just lift stuff off, because it's getting inside the hub and all around the little spokes, the small bits, is a bit of a pain. Perhaps I just haven't got enough patience at this moment in time, but I'm going to call in at the car parts store on the way home from work tomorrow, pick that up. I'm going to get a Brillo pad, you know, scouring pad thing, and for doing probably the engine cases, and just a bit of cleaning up. So basically what I'm saying is I'm bored, I'm diverting my attention to something that's a little bit more rewarding. So I'm going to clean up the exhausts and give them a couple of coats, because it's stopped raining. It's reasonably warm, mildish outside at the moment, so it'll be a good time to do it. So just going to little bit of that's P600 just to go over everything, get any loose crap off, spray it over with the good old brake cleaner, wipe it down and get a few coats on.
So that's the first coat on, or second. Not brilliant yet, but obviously early days. I'm going to give it quite a few coats, I think. Actually, that one's had 2 coats. That's already looking better than that one. I haven't completely decided if I'm going to be happy with this kind of being on display where the heat shields, or we took them off. So whether I do end up wrapping just a small section, not the whole lot, but just a little bit. We'll see. Well, in between coats then, let's have a look at some of the goodies that have arrived. Gone for some new exhaust studs, just because they're mild steel, pretty corroded and yucky. In fact, 2 came out when I was pulling them out. So yeah, gone for some stainless steel exhaust studs. We've got the tapered bearing kit. I'm saying Bonnie Scrambler and Thruxton. Better just double check the sizes on that one in case they've sent us the wrong one, because obviously I think the America is probably going to be a bit bigger, American Speedmaster. Oh well. Rejects, if we're going for the pod filters, so I've gone for 45 pilots and 150 main jets. I think at the moment I've got with the airbox and just a K&N filter in, I think it's a 42 pilots. I think it was a 130 on the mains, I think. Also, whilst I'm redoing the brakes as well, I've never tried these out, so I think it's £7 for 2. So some bleed nipples, speed bleed nipples, so they work on a valve kind of system as well. So in theory you just crack them open 1/4 of a turn to allow the fluid out, and then they don't let any air back in, so that'll be fun to play with just to see. And of course the pistons, stainless steel pistons, and seals, 2 seals and 2 dust seals there as well for the calipers. So plenty of bits to be getting on with. Gonna have a look at that now actually, because that's just, as I've just looked at it now, it's made me wonder. We'll see if they're all the same size in between spraying up coats of the exhaust. Actually, yeah, looking at that, that's the top brace. They're the same diameters, and the bottoms are as well. So that's all right. And oh, brilliant! Another sticker for the toolbox. Put this one. Right then, I think I'm going to go on with the bearings. So I've obviously taken the yokes off, or your triple trees, and at the moment, so we've got a ball bearing kind of arrangement in here. So it works by, you've got this dust seal at the bottom, which is basically that, which just slides and sits there and is what it is, dust seal. You've got like your kind of race here, this metal ring here, which the ball bearings here sit and well, race around. And then you've got your inner race, which is an interference fit in there, which is this ring here. I might try and get some light on this. Better. So this slightly manky looking thing in here is our inner race, and then you have pretty much the same setup in the top. So there's the top race there. So obviously these are an interference fit, so that means they're sort of tapped in, if you like. So what I'm going to have to do, see down there, there's quite nice, there's enough of a lip in there that I can get a drift down there and start tapping around this edge to get that out, and then hopefully the same on the top up there, which is quite nice because sometimes you get hardly any kind of lip here for you to grab onto, but that's quite generous. So that's going to be pretty easy. Really the most tricky one sometimes can be getting this one off. I normally cut that with a Dremel, and then just you can leave it off with a screwdriver because obviously these are pressed on. In terms of the new kit, I've gone for a tapered bearing kit. So this is the bottom one. So that's the same, the dust seal.
But rather than have the kind of ball bearings and the separate race, you end up with just that. So it's more of these the cylinders, cylindrical rather than ball bearings. And obviously this is all one piece, so that once we've removed that, all that goes on down there like that, and that's how that one works. And then this is the replacement race to go in the underneath of the frame headstock there. Okay, so that's kind of pretty much how that goes together. These just tend to be more superior than the ball bearing types. I mean, there's more parts that seem to be a bit more flimsy. You see they just come apart like that. Yeah, so these tend to be a better upgrade anyway. So right, let's get cracking. I'm going to start by tapping out the races there. There we go. You can see the drift under there. I'm just tapping that through. In fact, probably at the stage now where I can just do it by hand, and that'll just pop out. There we go. Lower race out. Okay then. So with the races out of the frame, we're just going to get this bad boy off, and as I said, these are kind of like, when you put them back on you can just tap them down, but to get them off, I find if you're just in your shed like me, a Dremel or some cutting wheel, very carefully put a cut into the actual race, don't mark up obviously your steering stem or anything, and normally that's enough just to free the tension off and you can just pop it off then. So we'll give that a go. I'm down to my last cutting wheel, so hopefully okay, there we go. So with that's probably about 8 minutes careful cutting. See that the dust seals come off, and that's I mean, I haven't even gone all the way through the race, but that's been enough to just free it up. So you see, you only need to get it over this section here, because obviously it's narrower down there. Obviously that's our chewed up one. And then the race there, which I will keep as well, because once I cut through that completely, then it can't get stuck on there again. That's a good, I think I've said before, a good drift that you can use to tap down on. So, cool beans. Okay, so this is our setup then for putting our new schniz on. So I've put the dust seal on first, just to really keep it there, because it always sucks if you tap that all the way down and then realise that you haven't put that on. This bearing is going to need greasing up, so we're going to do that first of all, and then when I come to actually put it on, that's the old race that was on there, so I've just chopped the notch out of that, and so therefore it won't get stuck on there again. And then we can either just slide that over the top and tap that down, but I had a little hunt around and off my axle stands, got that there, and then that fits rather neatly just inside there, so I'll probably slide that down. And that and then hammer the top. That just saves me having to try and tap evenly all the way around. I can just one good blow. So that's kind of the plan anyway. But first things first, grease up the bearing, and I'm sure there's 101 different ways that people do it and what grease you're going to use, but this is the stuff that I use because it's on the shelf. And this is the way I grease up a bearing, so I get a good handful. A bit more. And then I get my bearing, and then I just force the grease into it. Put that over. Grease. Same again on that side. Just keep forcing all that grease in there. You can see straight off that was quite a lot of grease there, and already there's a heck of a lot of that has gone inside here. Move it round. Right, let's see how this pans out. Top. Okay, back on again. I don't know if the last bit recorded because my phone filled up with memory, but yeah, so that's the bottom race on, and then just gotta get the drift off. So I'll put a bit more grease on that, but I'll need to get the races into the frame now as well, so we can put all this together. And once the top and bottom races are in the frame, in the headstock, that's pretty much the grunt work done on this. So pretty much the same principle. There's the new race. That's the old race as well. And then we'll hang on to this one because we'll keep that as a sacrificial bashing point, because that will be the same diameter as that, so I can bang on that when it's going in. And then we're just going to tap it in. So like I say, it's an interference fit, so that it's going to be tough to get in. We're just going to make sure it's nice and level and tap it up, and you'll feel just on the inside there's a lip. It's about here. Usually like the tone changes when you're hammering it in, and to know that's all the way in, but you'll be able to feel it on this one. So yeah, let's get rocking. Usually do, so I start off, just get it in, and then just start gently tapping it around just to get it seated. There we go, that's nicely seated. Get a nice flat side of that over there. And then make some more noise. That kind of change in the ring there, it's a bit more ping. That's you can hear that's now in. So obviously the other race is just in a little bit, so I just need to drift that out. easily done because it's got a good lip on it. There we go. So you can see that's up against the lip there. So there's that one installed. Do the same for the top. And we're laughing. Okay, so we got the lower bearing packed with grease. Just done the upper one as well. And got the new races in. So just going to loosely assemble everything now. So it's just a simple case of sliding that one up through, dropping the bearing on top, dust cap on top, and then you've got obviously your kind of, you can start setting the tension of the bearings of these two. So you've got your lock nut as well, but that's something I'll come to I think when I've got the wheel and everything on, so I can get there, and the handlebars, and get them, just get the movement right. What you want to try and do is tighten this down, preload them a little bit, back them off, and then you want to just nip them up to the point of where all the movement is removed. So if you grasp the yoke underneath, there's no sort of movement that way. But I'll show you when we do that bit. But let's just let's get this on together. There. Put the top bearing in. The seal on.
And run away, and before that stone broken and wait for you. So, have you got your Thunderbook? Have you got it yet?
So there we go. So when we do it, we get the lock nut will go on top there. Let's just move this one in. There we go. So yeah, lock nut on top of there once we've set it. But what we're going to be looking for is just super smooth movement left to right, and then we're going to have it to the point where there's just no kind of movement in the yoke there at all. And then when that's right, we can lock it all down. So if I was to loosen that, see there, I can feel there's movement, and then tighten it down a bit. So you want to get it just the point where you've just backed it off enough. But as I say, I like to do that with the forks and the wheel and everything all on, because that's the kind of the full loading of everything. So that'll just have to wait for the final adjustments for that. So these are the exhaust pipes after that's about a can's worth of paint, and they've turned out really nice. So I'm going to probably give them another can's worth, I think, just to really get a good coating on there, and that should help give them a little bit of protection for the winter months. I don't think I'm going to do the end cans black. I think I'm going to leave them. Although when I get the Scotch Brite pad, I might just dull them down a little bit. But otherwise, I'm really happy with that. So I'm going to probably wrap the video up at that point, because there's probably quite a lot of odds and sods with the bearings and the exhaust, so it's probably more than one video's worth. I will get the carb cleaner and stuff and carry on trying to clean up the plasti dip as well, so you might get a midweek video. I'm going to keep doing some bits and bobs in the evenings. But yeah, that's eating up a fair chunk of time this weekend, so thanks for watching. Hope it's been vaguely interesting, and see you for a midweek video.